This is Justin Bruce. I am have been a middle school football coach in Rome, Georgia, for the past 8 years, and I was wanting to make a video, kind of explaining and showing you guys the offense that I created, and I call it the AU Spurn offense, kind of based on the fact that it's kind of mimicking the style that Gus Malzahn uses at Auburn. I'm going to try to pull up some Shiloh Christian film in just a bit. But the reason I came about making this is I had been a single wing coach for the past 3 or 4 years. Before that, we were a kind of a thrown together spread team. We had a bunch of super fast guys. Before that, we had been just a strictly power I offense, and so we've done a lot of things. And I love the single wing, but my varsity coach, who was running some spread with the spread guys that we had at one time, is really kind of doing an Auburn style spread. And by that, I mean like with the H-back and the motions and that kind of stuff. But the reason, and he wanted me to kind of run an offense that was a little more in line with what they were doing to kind of cut down on learning curves and stuff. But the way they had it designed is just not very middle school friendly. The way they call their plays, their formations, there's really no rhyme or reason to it. The kids just have to strictly memorize everything, which was never going to be well with us. With middle school practicing 3 days a week and more than a quarter of our guys being served in special needs classes in some capacity. So I tried to come up with a way that was going to be able to mimic that same style of play, but easily taught and ran by middle schoolers. So I'll just get straight into it here and I'm going to go through the playbook, and I kind of go through it the way I've got to kind of laid out subtle things. So to start with, this offense, and keep in mind anything that you would want to change with this, you're absolutely free to change. This is just a baseline of my ideas, basically. I'm not going to get into what your splits need to be, how far these guys need to be from the end man on the line. You guys are competent coaches that know your team and athletes well enough. This is just a kind of a guideline of ideas that comes together to create a spread style running attack with passing and screen threats. I'm really not recreating the wheel. All this stuff has been already done before. It's just the way I've kind of got to organize was going to be I think an easy way for my team to be able to run it. So to start with, we have 5 linemen that do not flip-flop. Left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, right tackle. And they stay the same no matter what. Their job is to, once the play's over, get on the ball, because we're going to run no huddle. And get on the ball, look at the coach, get your blocking cue. As skill positions, you are going to be in one of 2 different formations. And my rationale with having Y and X and then a 4 was that if you are a letter, you're on the line. So we got Y, T, G, C, G, T, X. If you're a letter, you're on the line. I always, every year, have guys want to know, am I on the line? Am I off the line? So our motto this year was going to be, if you're a letter, you're on the line. Letters are on the line. Letters line. Letters line. Our backs are going to be, this kind of comes from, single wing, the wing T stuff. Wing back's going to be our 4 guy. We had our quarterback as a 1, and I'll get there in a second. Our running back's going to be the 2, and our blocking back, H-back guy, he's going to be the 3. So to start with, we're going to have left, which would be like this, and right, which would be like this. Linemen don't flip-flop. Twins always goes to the side we call. So we call left. Everybody should line up just like this. We should be able to call left and right as quick as we can call it, and the kids be able to line up like this. Boom, 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 boom. All right. We've also got a trips left and a trips right. Nothing changes for anything other than our H-back. All right. Our H-back, and I've got it listed as an H. He's also a 3. He just simply goes to the trips side called. So let's say we have right, we can call trips right. Let's say we have left, we can call trips left. He just simply bumps out to whichever side we call. And that gives us 4 different perimeter looks by simply saying left, right, trips left, trips right. Okay? So that takes care of our linemen and our receivers. Now we get into the backfield actions, all right? So to start with, we're not going to call this. This is just our base. We don't call anything. If we say left, right, our receivers line up how they're supposed to, and these guys line up just like this. The only time they change is if they get a cue that tells them to, okay? So our first cue is going to be flip. And the way we would teach this is we would just line them up in base, and I'd say, okay, you guys flip to the other side. Just flip over. And then, okay, get back, and flip. All right, get back in regular, and then flip. So that way they know they're just going to flip to the other side when they hear flip. So that should be a really quick teach and easy to understand that I'm just going to flip over to the other side, okay? Let's say we want to get into this look, which is kind of a stack to the left. And I didn't want to say stack left or stack opposite. I wanted to keep everything to one word. So I took Dave Caesar's terminology, which he uses, and just had a Larry call, which tells our H-back or 3-back or blocking back, whatever you want to call it, to be in the Larry position, go to the left. The next one would be stack, of course, and that's simple. You're just going to stack behind the H-back there. The next one is going to be split. All right. And then our last one is called magic. Now, I took this straight from Auburn, Shiloh Christian, and I am going to primarily, or was going to primarily use this, oddly enough, as a passing formation. I'm going to show some film here in just a little bit, and you're going to notice that almost every time Shiloh Christian gets into this formation, it is a passing set. And the reason they do that is to give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 possible blockers, and they're running quick stuff, or if they got a matchup, deep stuff on the outsides here, trying to get one-on-ones. One problem I always had as middle school level is the defense in a passing situation just absolutely bringing the house. And me trying to get my 5, maybe 6 guys to block 7, 8 guys blitzing, we might have had 2 seconds to get the ball off. So by adding these other backs in the backfield, like a full house look, we've got a lot of extra blockers. Now, if you get bored and get good, you can run anything you want to run out of this. You got powers, you got split zones, you've got sweeps to either side, you've got triple lead counter powers, whatever you want to call. You've got all kinds of options. I did not plan on getting there unless we got to the end of the season or a playoff game or something, and we were just really proficient in everything else. We'd start toying around with that. But that's, of course, an option. So there are our backfield formations: base, flip, Larry, stack, split, and magic. So we have a ton of formations. We can be left, flip, right, Larry, left, stack, left, split, right, split. We have an enormous amount of different looks that we can give the defense by simply calling 1 or 2 words, all right? And all these are super simple teaches. It makes sense to the guys. Letters are on the line doesn't flip, and receivers go left or right. He knows if he hears trips, he just goes out to be the trips, and otherwise we're going to be in these formations: stack, Larry, flip, or just our regular look. And they have the magic there. So then we get into the motions, all right? The 4-man, his motions start with F. So 4 is a fly. He does it from either side. Doesn't matter if we say left or right. He hears fly, he's going. It's in front of the, speed motion, jet motion, whatever you want to call it. He's coming in front of the quarterback. He also has funky motion, where he goes to the backside of the quarterback. He's going to do that orbit motion, that deep motion. But again, it starts with an F, so he knows that funky means the 4 is going in motion. All right, so fly and funky go with our 4. We have rocket. This comes from when we ran Tim Murphy's stuff, the shotgun double wing. Our rocket is just going to send our 2-back in deep motion to the other side. If you've seen any of our video, my dumb coach name is Bruce J.A. If you have seen any of the highlights that I put of our shotgun double wing stuff, we had a couple of guys that were really good at running this deep motion from the backfield and getting to the edge quick. And I wanted to incorporate that into this because I think it's such a great way of getting our athlete out on the perimeter, whether it be for like a screen or a sweep or something. We wanted to have this rocket motion with our two back. All right. So then we have again an R word or for our two backs. So we have rocket and razor, and razor is going to be where we're actually trying to get him all the way out here behind these receivers. And so we're really going to be using this as a decoy or as a quick screen to our two back. So our rocket motion is going to be a little more kind of rounded coming downhill. And then our razor motion, if you've ever seen the University of Houston play, especially last year, they ran the dog mess out of this razor, or what I'm calling razor motion. And people call it zip motion. I have another zip motion here. I've heard it called all different things, but we're going to razor him out to be out in the perimeter for a quick screen. Don't think razor meaning right and something else, laser meaning left. We're just going to say razor. Razor means you cut out quick to the multiple receiver side. We're trying to get you out here behind blockers. So we can run stack, razor, he runs out here, flip, razor, he would run out here, split, razor, he would run out here. So you're razoring to the side where you're going to have the most blockers. This was going to be my most exciting play that I was wanting to run. It's called seesaw. And the reason I call it seesaw is because typically our X is on the ball and our 4 is off the ball. But if you think of like what a seesaw does, if he comes down, then this side has to go up. And so seesaw is just going to, it's going to be kind of a twofold thing. It's going to be a formation adjustment, but it's also going to assume automatic motion. In Coach Darlington's formation, the saw formation, if you've ever seen any of Coach Darlington at a Popka stuff, the saw formation automatically assumes motion. So you don't have to call saw and then a motion. It's just saw, and that means we're going to line up this way, and he's going in motion. So seesaw is going to make these guys do a little seesaw action, and then he is automatically going in motion. It can be for a decoy. It can be for my play that I wanted to run out of this was going to be right, stack. So we got two guys blocking out here. We got two guys right here in blocking position. Seesaw sweep. So we essentially are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 with the running back, 4 lead blockers on top of our jet sweep right here. I can't imagine that not being a good play, especially in middle school football. If I really wanted to get nasty and do a seesaw Q sweep, then I would just, he would be the 5th lead blocker, and I just snap it right to him and have him take off. So that's our seesaw motion. Zip is going to be strictly used for quick screens. Let's say we want to get a quick numbers advantage right here. Zip just means zip out there and block the widest guy. And not trying to do too much with this. Zip for now screen, or zip now screen, zip now screen, zip now screen. We're going to try to catch them sleeping over here with not enough defenders. Try to get a numbers advantage there. All right. So go back our motions real quick. Fly, funky are for the 4-man. Rocket, razor are for the 2-man. Seesaw is our little formation adjustment with our jet sweep coming with the X. And then we have zip to give us a quick perimeter blocker for a now screen. All right, so let's get into our running plays. We have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running schemes, run blocking schemes. I know that sounds like a lot. You're going to do a lot of memorization, but I'm going to show you in a second the wristbands that I came up with that basically your everyday drills that you do with your linemen are going to be the plays they run in the game. So they're not going to have to memorize anything. They're not going to have to worry about who's carrying the ball, what formation we're in. We're going to line up and we're going to get a cue. All right. So blue, and the reason we have blue is because our high school was blue and white. That were our colors. That was our colors. So they run their zone left, zone right, and they call it blue and white. White, right. Excuse me, right there. All right. So Blue is a zone left. Blue back is a split zone where our H-back's going to be blocking back. White back where he's blocking back. Those are our zone plays. All right. We've got a power scheme. We've got a counter scheme. And then we've got a little sweep scheme. And this is kind of taken from Tim Murphy, not to the extent Tim Murphy, but listen, I was thinking I don't want my guys to be thinking all too much sweep. I want everyone reaching. Both sides. Tim Murphy in his sweeps plays has both guys really getting way outside, going kind of splitting the waters there. We're going to just reach. We're just going to reach. You got to work on it in practice. You got to work on your lineman drills, but work on reaching. Own, reach outside. Own or reach outside. All right. So those are our run schemes. All right. Let's get into a couple of our little special passes. This is a pop pass. Everyone's running vertical. You can run verticals. You can have a little stop over here. But we're basically trying to sneak our H out or our 3 out and then have him sit right here in this little zone. In middle school, for some reason, this is a deadly area. I don't know if because everybody flies out or everybody's rushing the quarterback, but this gets to be a really deadly zone in middle school. So we have our pop pass. We have our split zone pass. This comes from Apopka. They have a bandit pass that I love. So bandit is going to tell him to run opposite the multiple receivers there. He's basically going to be running across the formation into the flats here. Shoot is going to be the play action to where he goes with action. So bandit is him going away from the action to the opposite side of the formation there. He's going across the center line to the opposite side. And shoot is going to be like a power pass, whatever you guys might normally run, to where he just kind of floats out in the flats there, all off the play action. We've got a simple out of our trips, a flood concept. So trips right, flood. Simple. We got flood stick, where he's just going to, instead of flood now, he's just going to stick in that little deadly zone right there, kind of like a pop pass. We've got outs. All these are super simple. Outs, slants. Snake comes from Apopka, and this has been a dirty play for us. We got defensive ends rushing up field. He's just going to, I told my guys, snake means sneak. You're going to sneak out. So snake means you're going to sneak out, and we're just going to dump it to you right there behind the X. So we got snake. We've got in pass, where our outside guys are going to be running in, and everybody else is just taking off. We're trying to clear out this area and have them sneak in that little void there that's kind of dirty. You got a good matchup right here. They're playing man-to-man. That's a pretty unstoppable play if you've got a receiver right here that's good at running his routes and catching. The guy can throw it to him. And then we have, of course, stops and verts. I mean, that's nothing monumental. It's just I think it's a good, competent little passing concepts that are simple to know, easy to practice, but also effective. So now we get into like some of the screens. Okay, so the deal with our colored plays, white and blue. Okay, anytime we have a white or a blue, the Y and the 4 are going to just switch. So the Y, who's normally inside and the 4 is outside, they're just going to kind of invert. He's going to move to the outside, and he's going to move to the inside slot receiver, because we want to have this screen action automatic. So anytime, it doesn't matter if we're running white back, white keep, which we'll talk about in a second, he's automatically running this little bubble action, all right? Because we want to be able to look at the quarterback and say, give him a signal to hit the bubble. Hit the bubble. If it's there, we're going to hit the bubble, all right? So there's our white arc. Here's our now screen, just a simple catch and throw, everyone blocking out, lineman trying to get to second level. We've got our slow screen, where he's just kind of step up like he's pass blocking and then sneak out, slip out there. People call that different things. We just call it slow screen because I want him to kind of get out there slow. I don't want him to run out there real fast. I want him to kind of look like he's blocking and slowly sneak out. So those are our screens: slow screen, now screen, and our arc screen. And we could have blue arc, but I just drew it up as white arc. Everyone's simulating the white action, the zone right or what we would call white action. You can call it whatever you want. These are our screens. All right, this is a little sneaky play I took from Apopka. It's kind of a wedge play. Put any kind of motion you want behind it. This would be right, funky, ghost. Direct snap it right to this blocking back here and just absolutely blow it up in the middle. Of course, you got everyone else here, flowing to the left. You got linebackers looking left. You got secondary looking left, and they forget about this little jumble of people and bodies with the ball carrier. And we actually almost had this H just almost take the ball right out of the center's hands. I know there's some rules there as far as, ball exchange, but, you have to practice the timing or just have him kind of just direct snap it to him. All right. This is our little reverse, white rabbit. And so white means we're going to run zone right, and then rabbit, the R, is going to be the reverse. So we're going to hand it off to the 2 like we're running zone. He's going to just hand it right off to the 4 and take it off upfield. Now, if you look at Shiloh Christian's 7th grade team, they run this play. You can look at them on Huddle, and, it's just demoralizing. They just hand it off, a little double handoff, and nobody over here. You got the quarterback lead blocking, trying to get a body on somebody after he hands it off. This is a play that we also took from Apopka when they were kind of running some pistol stuff. They had a hurt quarterback, and they got into a kind of a tight end trips kind of look. And I don't know what it is about this guy, but we called it candy because it is absolutely like taking candy from a baby, especially with the play action right here. So we're going to play action, and then we're running verts, and this guy is going to just slowly roll out into this little void. And there was not a single time we didn't run this play that he was not absolutely wide open. This is more of an athletic type guy. He understands how to catch the ball, hopefully. He's going to sneak out. We kind of had to work with him with our spacing here at practice. That was a great play for us, candy. All right. These are a couple of different tags. Let's say you want to get a tight end in the game. We call tight. If you're a Tony Franklin guy, I guess you call yo. We've got switch, which would be a way for you guys to switch these two guys without, say you don't call blue or white, you just call switch. Say you got a matchup here, you want to get him in position to do something different. You want to get him on a vert against a corner or something. Maybe he's a little bit taller guy. You want to get him out here on this little short corner. Just switch, run verts. X over is a way for us to get it into kind of an unbalanced set. X over, and we can also have Y over. So we have a little mismatch over here. We want to get the Y over here. X over and Y over. So then we get into our counter pass. Now, the way we're going to make it simple is power always goes right and counter always goes left. Sweeps can go either way. All right, so counter, we can either hand it off to him from this side, hand it off to him from this side, or the quarterback can keep it himself and follow his blockers up to the counter path here. Power pass, same thing. Doesn't matter which side the running back's on. He's still getting the handoff and getting back to this side. Of course, our power scheme is going to be pulling the guard and kicking out with the H. Just the opposite over here. Kicking out and then folding in with our H. The linemen don't have to worry. They hear power. They see the signal of power. They're going to know exactly what to do. I'll show you the wristbands in a second. Our Q counter path, of course, going to fake the handoff. He's just going to continue on the counter path. There's our Q power path. And then our sweep pass. And we talked about we have our seesaw sweep. We have our fly and funky sweeps. We've got our rocket sweeps. And we can also, right here with the black lines, we can also just have a Q sweep. And the linemen don't care because their sweep rules are on to reach. So it doesn't matter if we're running seesaw sweep, rocket sweep, fly sweep, funky sweep, Q sweep. And it's actually good because now this left tackle, he's not taking a play off because he knows we're running seesaw sweep and this guy's not going to make a play. Probably. So they're blocking full speed every play because they don't know who's getting the ball. And they're not looking to see who gets the ball. The coach or the line coach or however you're going to be signaling plays is going to give them a blocking cue. Power, counter, sweep. And I'll do another video in just a bit getting into our single wing stuff.